Alright, good afternoon, Year 11s and Year 10s. Welcome to Tuesday, the 21st of April. So last class you guys worked with Mr. Mariani to look at box plots. Today what we're looking at is the last part of the new information for Chapter 2 before we move on to Chapter 7. And in that what we are doing is we are looking at back-to-back stem plots and we are looking at parallel box plots. So, having a look at the question on my screen right here, the stem plot displays the age distribution of 10 females and 10 males admitted to a regional hospital on the same day. Calculate the median and IQR for admission ages of the male and females in this sample. So, first things first, there are 10 of each. Because there are 10 of each, where am I going to find the median values? Where am I going to find my median values? Not on the 10th number. Remember, we want just the females and just the males. So we need to use and find the median for the 10 females and the 10 males. So remember, alright, I've got some people messaging me. Okay, so it's not 5, it is 5.5. Alright, remember, you take the number of numbers, you add 1, and then divide by 2. So 10 plus 1 is 11, 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. So we want the number in the 5.5 position. So if I am looking at my data set here, starting here, remember, because it is back to back, we read the stem first, then the leaf. So for females, 0, 9, 1, 0, 1, 5. So that's 9, 10, 15, 27, 31, 37, and so forth. So we want the 5.5 number. So we need to find number 5 and we need to find number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then number 6 is here. So 31 and 37. So what is halfway between 31 and 37? Someone give that to me, please. Halfway between 31 and 37, please. I know you guys are listening. 34, thank you. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly pop a whiteboard up above my textbook. Alright, so I've got my whiteboard here. So, first things first, we've determined that for females, it is 34. And for the males, what is it? Where is the 5th number for the boys? 5.5 number. Alright, so I see there 13, 16. I see here 13, 16, 21, 24, 25. That's number 5. And then number 6 is that number there. So I need to find the number between 25 and 26. In that case, it is 25.5. So these are our medians. All right. So now what we need to do is the rest of the question is asking about calculate the median and IQR. So before we can find the IQR, we need to find two other numbers. What are those two numbers? What are they called? Yep, thank you. So, yep, quadrants, IQR1, IQ3. So what I'm looking for is Q1 and Q3. So now that I've got my halfway point for my values, I now need to then divide the top half and the bottom half into medians again. And this time that's going to get me Q1 and Q3. So in the case of my numbers here, my top half of numbers goes from 9 to 31. There are 5 numbers there, so I need to find the number that is in the third position. So it is 15 for females. And for my bottom half of my data, it's going to be 43 for the females. Now for the boys, the bottom half of my data is 13, 16, 21, 24, 25. The third piece of data is here at 21. And then for Q3, the top half of the data means that I need to find, so it's going to be 34. All right, so now I have Q1 and Q3, which means I can now find IQR for both of those. All right, so how do I find IQR again, guys? What am I subtracting from each other? Thank you, Georgia. So I'm subtracting Q3 from Q1. So that means I have 43 minus 15, which what does that come out as? 43 minus 15. It's 28. And then the IQR is, for the boys, is only 13. All right, so what does this tell us about that data set? Which group, males or females, were more closely bunched together? All right, which group of people, boys or men or women, are more closely bunched together? All right, Judith, why do you say the men? Why? So what, for people who are saying male, why are we saying male? Females are more spread out, yeah. Which number on there indicates they are more spread out? All right, Muhammad's got the right idea. Look, the 79 and 9 is they're quite relevant numbers, in that the range for the females is from 9 to 79, whereas the men are only from 13 to 47. But in this case, what we're looking for is these numbers here. They'll tell us not only So these numbers will tell us where the center of our data is and how far apart our data is from the center. So the bigger the IQR, the further everything is away from our center. Now, write a report comparing these distributions in terms of center and spread in the context of the data. All right? Where is this data coming from? Where is this data coming from? All right? What context do we find for this data? Where did this data come from? Read the question one more time. A hospital. Now, what sort of hospital though? Because that is also important. A regional hospital. Now, what do you have in regions? What do you have more likely in regional hospitals? All right. If we think about regional hospitals, what are we more likely to find in the regional areas? We rely on them for our food. Farmers, all right? And who is more likely to be farmers? And particularly what age of men, because it's heavy labor work. Over the age of 20. All right? So what you can probably guess is that from the data, you can probably say that most of those male injuries were probably from farm accidents. All right, so from that data, you can say most of those hospital admissions were probably farming accidents in the boys, and for the women, you're going to have a whole range of different issues. But again, it is much more spread out. It's not just focused on one type of thing. And whoever's got their microphone on, please turn it off. All right, so the center of the data, where is the center of the data for the men and for the women? The women, 34. The men, 25.5. Men get injured, require more hospital visits when they're younger. Women generally are a bit older. There's something in there probably regarding pregnancies, those sort of things as well. Not going to make any other assumptions other than men are accident prone, and if they get injured on a farm, it's going to need a hospital visit. All right. So that's the only thing I'm going to give you for back-to-back stem plots. We're now going to move down to to parallel box plots to do something similar. All right. So I've got here two parallel box plots, a sample of year 8s and a sample of year 12s. This should be interesting viewing. So make a new whiteboard, sorry. All right. So comparing groups using parallel box plots, I have a box plot here remember what happens at this point here. What value is right there? That's Q1. Then what's in the middle here? Hint, middle, median, and then at the end is Q3. All right, Q1, Q3, median. All right, and then we have our minimum and our maximum. So that's a 5-number summary. So we have the minimum, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the maximum. Estimate the median and IQRs from the box plots. Well, the median we can tell here. Go straight down. Where is it over? It's over. The median is this number right here. It's not over 7. It's over. It's about 5.5. And for the medians for the year 8s, it's about 3. All right, which makes sense. Year 12s are going to do more homework than year 8s. Although, to be fair, if a year 12 is only doing 5.5 hours of homework a night, well, a week, not a night, not enough hours in the day. So, and our IQRs, we've got 7 here, about 2.5 here. So I would say the IQR for year 12s is about 4.5. And for the year 8s, 1 to 1.5, it's only about 2.5 IQR. Using these medians and IQRs to write a report, compare the distributions in terms of center and spread in the context of the data. It makes sense that year 12s are going to do more homework. They are older, more capable, and it's more important for them to do homework because they have exams coming up. Right? Whereas year 8s, I think we all know some year 8s. I think we all were year 8s, and I think we all know how busy we were when we were year 8s. Not at all. All right, so the distribution sort of tells us that even on average, even the laziest year 12 student is still doing more work than most year 8s do. But there are also some year 8s that do more hours of work than some of the year 12s do by comparing where these are. Now remember that in this spot here, down the end, that is 25%. This next here is another 25%, 25%, and then 25%. All right. The median amount of hours done is much higher, but the IQR, the range for the amount of hours, is very, very different. All right, so I'll be interested to see what you guys come up with for those.